Right, well, me and Deputy Leader Jayda Fransen are in Rochester High Street. We're going to be going to the Count shortly. It's very quiet. It's a lovely town. This is a lovely English town. Lots of history. All the buildings got plaques on them that give a historical story. It's a beautiful town, and we hope it stays English, forever. Jayda, it's been quite an interesting campaign. It's the first parliamentary election we've fought. It's the first time that we've taken part in an election like this. First of all, we've been banned by the Royal Mail. No leaflets gone out at all in this campaign. Not only that, the police have been sabotaging our activities out on the streets. You probably see that with a video we put out last week.
Yeah.
So we haven't been out on the streets. We haven't put any leaflets out, but we've managed to attract an enormous amount of media attention and an enormous amount of attention to this mega mosque that they've got planned. What do you think about how things have gone?
Well, it's been an interesting one, to say the least. I think everybody's been really shocked at the way we've been treated by the Royal Mail, by the police. But the main thing to focus on is, like you say, the media coverage that we have received throughout this by-election. It's been enormous, and it's enabled us to gain a whole new base of support, which is brilliant. It's enabled us to grow the party, which is ultimately, what we need to do. Like you say, this is the first parliamentary seat that we've contested, and it certainly has been eventful. And we've come up against every barrier. Everyone has stood in our way, whether it be the Royal Mail or the British police. The police have chased us down the roads, for crying out loud, just because we want to campaign on the streets of the constituency that we're standing in. But I certainly think it's been worth it.
Well, our two objectives when we decided we was going to stand in this election was to create a furore, which I think we've done pretty successfully.
Yeah, I would say so.
And secondly, taking part in this would bolster UKIP's campaign.
Yeah.
We never stood in this intending to get a share of the vote. We're not interested. Wouldn't bother us, to be honest, if we got 0.1% of the vote tonight. Wouldn't bother us. Doesn't matter. What matters is getting the attention and creating the fuss. That attracts people to this movement. It advertises us, gets us the publicity, and we grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
So it's been a great platform to achieve our ends.
Absolutely. I mean, and this is what we said this from the start. We're not interested. A lot of people were saying, "Aren't you worried you're going to split the UKIP vote?" We're not interested in that. We do not want any of the old gang parties, the Conservatives, or even worse, a Labour victory in Rochester. That would be absolutely awful. So we're not trying to split the vote and take it away from UKIP. UKIP have been the favourites all along, and they are the closest in terms of policies. They're almost identical to ours. So the fact that we have been out supporting them and telling people to vote for them makes perfect sense. Like you say, this isn't about going out and being naive and saying we're going to swarm in and take all the votes and win the seat. We have to think about what's best for the British public. We're not like the old gang parties who are in this for the money and it's all about, just another seat that they can just fill with people who are corrupt and self-serving. We want what's best for the British public, and we truly believe that is UKIP.
And even though we won't be winning tonight, our ideas will be.
Absolutely.
Because basically, like you said, there's wafer thin difference between our policies and UKIP's.
Yeah.
So even though we're standing in this election, and even though we're not going to win tonight, and we're not interested, our ideas are still going to triumph, despite all the efforts by the police and the Labour Party sponsored thugs and the Royal Mail to try and bar us and get us out of this election. Our ideas, what we stand for, which is against immigration, against political correctness, withdrawal from the EU, we could be a strong, proud country again. Those ideas are going to triumph tonight, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, this isn't an issue, like I said before, about victory and just another face for these corrupt old gang parties who just have not got the public's interest at heart. And we've seen this because we approached the Conservatives. I went into the office of the Conservatives and asked them why they're ignoring the people of Rochester, and they couldn't give me an answer. They hid behind partitions. It's ridiculous. But you don't see UKIP doing that. You see UKIP coming out and making some pretty controversial statements, which absolutely mirror what we feel about how this country should move forward. So, we're hoping for a UKIP victory, which will in turn result in a victory for the people, the members and supporters of Britain First, because we think alike.
Whether or not we get a good vote or not tonight is academic, because our ideas, patriotic right-wing ideas are going to triumph.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
Brilliant. Well, let's go to the count because it's freezing out here.
Yeah.